Hey everyone, Alexa Simos here, licensed therapist, and you're watching Not So Scary Sundays, our Sunday breakdown of common issues that affect our mental health. Now, before we get started, if you could do me a favor and go ahead and hit that like button so YouTube knows we exist and that we're here every Sunday morning. This way, they'll push the content to more people and we can grow. For those of you who are subscribed, thank you so much for your continued support. Make sure your notifications are on so that you always get an alert every time we release something new. On today's show, we're talking about childhood bullying. Growing up watching TV, this could look like getting a wedgie or being stuffed into a locker. But these days, it might simply be done on social media. One study has even suggested that when it comes to mental health, bullying is as harmful as child abuse, if not worse. Approximately 20% of people who have been bullied experience some type of mental health problems later in life, even at the age of 50. While some of these, such as post-traumatic stress disorder, are easy to spot, others may be a little bit more difficult to recognize. These can range from inexplicable bouts of anger to a lifetime of feeling inferior to other people. Although there has been an immense amount of research on bullying, most of it has focused on the immediate effects and intervention and prevention. We need more research on long-term effects and new forms of bullying, such as online abuse. That said, severe long-term effects of bullying are relatively well documented. Research has shown that victims of bullying report more severe anxiety symptoms than others. Being bullied is also linked to social anxiety, which often lasts into adulthood and increases the risk of developing personality disorders. Depression is another negative consequence of bullying, which might lead to suicidal ideation and even suicide attempts. So if you are struggling with depression or anxiety and have a history of being bullied, there may be a link. One of the most severe consequences is post-traumatic stress disorder, or otherwise known as PTSD. Research has shown that 40.5% of girls and 27.6% of boys show PTSD symptoms at the time of being bullied. These individuals' torment can sometimes follow them into later life. This can be triggered by just remembering the bullying incident or by related stimuli, such as visiting their school as adults or by encountering their bully in a different environment. I know for me, I still cringe sometimes when I pass my junior high school thinking about the past stuff that has happened to me. Now, let's dive into trust and self-esteem. While people with severe depression, anxiety, or PTSD may actually seek help and uncover that bullying could have played a part in their mental health problems, for many other people, the signs are more subtle. Self-esteem is an aspect that is both a risk factor and a consequence of bullying. It is not hard to see that children who are suffering from repetitive bullying at school, at a time when they're still in the process of developing their personalities, could suffer a serious and lasting decline in self-esteem. On the other hand, high self-esteem has been linked to bullying others. However, this effect seems to be moderated by other factors. High self-esteem is only linked to high bullying rates in schools, which the students perceive to have a poor climate. Other distinctive examples is anger, which is a prerequisite of aggression and has been associated with both victimization and perpetration of bullying. For the bullies, it is well recognized that behind their abusive behavior lies the intention to hurt another individual, usually motivated by negative emotions such as aggression, anger, and hostility. But repeated bullying can also make victims more angry, which in turn maintains the cycle of bullying. The main difference between bullies and victims is that bullies exhibit higher levels of proactive aggression, basically behavior that anticipates a reward, whereas victims exhibit a higher level of reactive aggression, anger in a response to that threat. Bullying can also lead to health problems, such as alcohol and drug abuse, social withdrawal, and severe trust issues. For many victims who are trying to overcome the experience, the loss of trust is perhaps the most challenging consequence. But if nobody stands up for you at the time of being bullied, you begin to lose trust in your peers, and that may be for your life. Such relationships lead victims to experience not one, but multiple bullying effects during their victimization period and in their adulthood. Now, let's look at dealing with the past. When it comes to anger, various studies have indicated that restorative justice techniques, a mediation between the victim and the offender, while promoting a discussion of forgiveness, could help. However, such practices can only benefit victims and bullies respectively if applied in a controlled environment, such as by a school or a trained member or staff. Some individuals take their own initiative to face their bully or victim in adulthood and either apologize for the past behavior or seek answers for their victimization. However, they must keep in mind that such an encounter might have the exact opposite results. Research shows that bullies often maintain an aggressive behavior in adulthood. Therapy or counseling are usually therefore much better ways to deal with the consequences.
Thank you and good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam's Sports Report. Let's go over PTSD Part 3. PTSD can be caused by bullying. Here's a kid named, we'll call him John Doe. John Doe just talked a whole lot of stuff. He once told me to shut the blank up, punched me, and told me to punch him, so I did because he was an ass. He was a jerk. He was a complete jerk to me. He also poured powder on my suits. He was just one of the rudest people I've ever met. And I did forgive him? Not really. He's not a good person. But I had to move on for the most part. A complicated, disadvantaging epidemic for young Americans was suggested that strategizing 28% of the USA students in 6 to 12 and 20% of students grade 9 to 12 have experienced at school. Long-term bullying is associated with a variety of adverse consequences, including a depression, anxiety, health complaints, and diminished academic achievement. For me, academic achievement and depression, anxiety, all were a factor in my high school life. Bullying isn't just a traumatic event for children. It is not a passing. Research shows that bullying symptoms in post-traumatic stress disorder. In fact, one study of examining mental health in college students found experiencing bullying to be the strongest predictor in developing PTSD symptoms. This surpasses physical abuse reviews. Examining 29 relevant studies of bullying and harassment found that 57% have scored above. Why is bullying so harmful? When you are a victim of harassment and you can experience wide ranging of emotions from mild embarrassment to extreme fear because in being danger where your safety and compromise, no matter what the situation is, it never feels pleasant. Attacked, criticized by press, bullying is a distinct with bullying, anxiety, depression, sleeping problems, fatigue, or general restlessness, systematic muscle aches or pain, ulcers. I've had that problem with that, probably not due to bullying, but due to my medicine. Lack of it harassed or experiences could negative reinforcement, symptomatic abuse or power, ongoing immediation or emotional pain in those who are bullied. Children tend to have greater risk of being bullied in their adult lives. Characteristic symptoms because bullying feels powerless. Experiencing the event means having nightmares or flashbacks associated with the event, memories, mind at an inconvenient time, and unwanted or a person seeing someone. There is no single cure for PTSD, but there are several evidence-based treatments that can help reduce or eliminate distressing symptoms associated with trauma. That's Sam Vaughn Sports. Have a good afternoon.